Hello, today we're going to be making the Patchwork Backpack featuring Denim Studio fabrics by AGF. We will be learning to use decorative stitches and how to use the automatic buttonhole foot with slide. This is a fun project to make for a boy or a girl at any age. This bag is perfect for a walk to the park or a quick run to the store. Here's what you'll need to get started. Sew all your pieces for your front bag at 1/4 seam allowance. Sew both 4" by 4.5" rectangles from fabric A and B together and press seam towards fabric A. Sew a 4.5 by 7.5 rectangle from fabric F to your AB piece. Press seams towards fabric F. Take a 5" by 6" rectangle from fabric E and sew to 3.5 by 6" rectangle from fabric D. Press seams towards fabric E. Next, sew a 3" by 8" rectangle from fabric C to your ED piece. Press seams towards fabric C. Sew both pieces you created together. Sew 4.5 by 6" rectangle from fabric D to a 4.5 by 9.5 rectangle from fabric B. Press seams towards fabric D. Sew this piece to your other piece and press seams towards the right. Pin batting to the back of your front bag. With a water-soluble pencil, mark 1/2" lines in each of your rectangle pieces. Alternate using horizontal and vertical lines to create more interest. BERNINA offers so many great stitches to choose from. For this project, I used stitch 401, 713, and 8. On your machine, type in the number stitch you want using the stitch selection buttons. To make sewing easier when working with batting and decorative stitches, I like to use my walking foot. Sew on your marked lines using stitch 401, 713, 8, and 713. Repeat this order until you fill up your rectangle. Follow this same process for your other rectangles using different color threads. Take a 3" by 13" long strip from fabric G and fold each end at a 1/2 inch, and then another 1/2 inch and top stitch down. Repeat this same process for the other 3" by 13" strip. Fold strips in half with wrong sides touching. Take front bag and place strips centered on the top of your bag. Stitch down at 1/4 inch. Repeat this same process to stitch the other strip to your 12.5 by 15.5 back bag. If the bobbin case has a finger, thread the bobbin through the finger A of the bobbin case so that there will be an extra tension applied to the bobbin thread. This gives the beads on the right side of the fabric a slightly rounded appearance. Take your automatic buttonhole foot and slide, and mark the length you'll need the buttonhole to be in order to fit 2 ends of your cord through the buttonhole. They need to fit nice and snug in order for your rope straps to stay secure to your bag. Take both 2" by 3" rectangles from fabric D and fold in half and sew at 1/4 inch on each side. Flip rectangles to the right side of the fabric. Mark on your rectangle where the buttonhole will start. To sew your buttonhole, press the Home button. Use the arrow keys to select the buttonhole function and press OK. Select buttonhole 51 and press OK. Now you are ready to sew your buttonhole. I suggest using a piece of scrap fabric to test your buttonhole placement and length. Attach automatic buttonhole foot with slide to your machine. Sew the first bead. When you get to the desired length, press the reverse sew button to program the length. Then you can finish sewing the buttonhole. Use a block and cutter to open up your buttonhole. Repeat this same process for both buttonhole tabs. Place buttonhole tabs right sides together to your front bag, about 1 inch up from the bottom. Stitch into place at 1/4 inch. Next, take your front and back bag and place right sides together and sew at a 1/2 inch seam allowance. Also sew together the lining pieces from fabric G, but leave a small unsewn portion at the bottom of your lining in order to flip the right side of the fabric through. Take exterior of bag and tuck inside lining with right sides together. Pin exterior and lining of bag together and sew at a 1/2 inch. Flip right side of the bag through the unsewn portion in the lining. Hand sew or machine stitch unsewn portion closed. Take one of your pieces of cord and thread end of cord through buttonhole. Attach a safety pin to the other end of your cord and feed it through the front casing. Once you're through the front casing, thread it through the back casing. Then thread it back through the buttonhole. Adjust your straps until they are a proper length for whoever you are making the bag for, and cut excess cord. I cut off about 16.5 inches, which I will set aside to use for another project. Tie knots at the end of each cord to secure cord into place. Repeat this same process for the other cord and button tab. I hope you enjoyed making the Patchwork Backpack featuring denim studio fabrics. AGF denim mixed with BERNINA's decorative stitches adds a perfect touch to this drawstring bag. The vertical and horizontal lines create even more interest. Stay tuned for more projects from AGF, which can all be found on the BERNINA website at weallsew.com.